What's up? Good morning, guys. This week, so we're going to have a discussion on one of the readings, the Barak reading, but we also are going to um, have a discussion about your research paper ideas. And so this is important to put time and effort here so that as you move forward, you have a good base of what you might want to write on. And like you're starting to develop those ideas. Try not to kind of sleepwalk through this assignment because, again, it is the base of your research paper. So when we have the research paper proposal discussion, I have it out here in red because it's so important and students sometimes still don't see it. Your research paper needs to be based on one of these two prompts. It needs to be based on technology. The whole class has been on technology. Your research paper needs to be on technology. So as you respond to your partners or your classmates who might not have read this closely, you need to advise them, hey, look, it needs to be on technology. You say it nicely, say it kindly. But some people don't read this and they want to write on kind of generic research paper topics. You cannot, I mean, you do whatever you want, but you'll be penalized if you don't follow the prompt. So again, here's the prompt. We have it here. You can choose one of the two. Do you feel as though the internet and or current digital media is bringing us together as a society? Or you can use Postman's article as a basis and do feel as though the internet and or current digital media is a burden or a blessing. So both of these prompts are very, very broad. Your thesis should not be that broad. You can start broad in terms of the thought process, but when you get a thesis, it needs to be much more specific than these prompts. Think about these prompts as a block of wood that you're then going to kind of carve into a statue. All right. The wood is larger than the statue, clearly, because you have to find the statue within the wood, right? You're carving it out. Same thing here. These are broad topics. So your thesis cannot, you don't want it to be where you say technology is a burden and a blessing, because that's the prompt. You need to whittle out your argument. What you'd want to say is, although it connects us, although it entertains us, it's also made us dumber. All right. So then you're arguing specifically that our minds are changing because of it. Or although it separates us slightly in face-to-face situations, it allows us to accrue much more knowledge. So again, it's about knowledge, both of those prompts. But in both cases, the thesis is something way more specific than just as a whole, it's a burden, or as a whole, it's a blessing. Okay. You should not take these prompts and just restate them. All right. These prompts are dealing with all of technology and all their effects. Your essay should deal with a single piece of technology and hopefully a single impact. All right. Single piece of technology and a single impact. And then what you want to do is you want to develop that impact, and you've got to show that impact in multiple ways. Develop the opposing side that would disagree with you and say, look, actually, you think it's making us dumb. It's actually making us smart. This is why. Then you counter that. And then what's the overall consequence of that? So there's a lot of ways to explore a single issue. What we don't want to do is I can't make it any clearer. We do not want to deal with multiple types of technology. So you don't want to talk about the phone, the internet, TV. You don't want to deal with all three of those. All right. Because you're going to have three-page papers instead of one 7-page paper. All right. One technology and then one impact. You don't want to deal with catfishing, online scams. You don't want to, those are enough for an entire essay. You focus on one technology and one problem or benefit of that technology, and explore that single idea for 7 to 10 pages. All right. The depth of your argument is important. And the way you build that depth is by showing its impact multiple ways. All right. taking in opposing sides for each thing that you say. You could look at an opposing side and counter that opposing side. That's a way to flesh it out, to show me that you understand the issue. Okay. People who list off ideas, I'm doing a lot of hand movements, but people who just list off ideas, it's like somebody in an argument kind of plugging their ears and saying, this is what I think, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to listen to anyone else. And take into consideration our book, The Craft of Research, right? And how it talks about structuring your argument. And it talks about bringing in opposing sides. Remember way back at the beginning of the semester, we talked about the Blanda article about bringing in opposing sides. That's what you need to do. And because it's a 7 to 10 page paper, you can develop the opposing side for paragraphs and counter it in paragraphs because we have so much room to explore an issue. Okay. You should be able to make the argument for your side and the opposing side. And I should see that in the actual essay. So there's things to think about. So it's a discussion board. So again, it has to be on those prompts. And then I want you to kind of use this template. And this template comes from the Craft of Research. Okay. I'm studying. What are you going to study? What do you want to find out? Because even though you have an idea of what you want to argue, your idea should be pretty fluid based on the information that you find. All right. Think about these things. Take some time on this. And if you have any questions, let me know. Pick something that you enjoy because we're going to be doing it for about a month. So you're going to really want to be interested in it. Have a great day and email me with questions.